Hey everyone, welcome back. I apologize for the technical issue. Hold on a sec. I don't, unfortunately. I had to pick up the call. It was an important call. It was actually from Ukraine. It was from the organization Save Ukraine, the group that saves those kids. And I was waiting for that call because we got to get them generators. So I had to take the call. I apologize. So it broke off, but it was important, and we'll get right back on. I know Dean had to run. They're doing another what's it called, podcast for Save America. So let's give it a few seconds. And I see some people saying that Cohen is going nuts on his podcast. We're going to go over all of that. First of all, Brian Karam. I've never spoken to Brian Karam, but he responded, I think, on one of the posts that I put out there just now, saying something. I responded to him, basically telling him that we don't to please come join us so we can discuss this. And please let is Ellie with us? Ellie, you want to come up? Are you ready to come up? Let me bring you up if you want to come up. If not, don't worry about it because you have been working so hard. You deserve some time off, but I know there's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. So if you want to come up, Lisa, I'm not saying Brian is bad. So I'm not. I want to start. Hey, Ellie.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good morning. It's crazy. Ellie's filling in for Dean today, folks.
Yeah.
So it's coffee and tea with Ellie and Lev. What do you got? Coffee or tea, Ellie? What do you got?
I have grapefruit juice.
Oh, that's my girl.
I'm still waking up. I was up till 4 just with one of these data set drops because I just wanted to get one set of the files in a place where people could scroll through. Because if you look at the DOJ, how they dropped it as individual files, and there's just, there's 3.5 million individual files. So a lot of us are trying to take these folders and combine them into a PDF so that you can just download it to your Dropbox or whatever, and you can just look through it instead of having to open one and close it and open one and close it, which takes forever. So we have one folder done. So I sent it to Aaron. I sent it to Aaron at 4:00 in the morning. I was like, I hope this helps. There's so much more to do.
I just want to tell everybody, I just found out yesterday, it's such an amazing story, also how life just works. And I said to Ellie, life is like a box of chocolates. It really is because I was watching one of her posts, and actually a year ago, I was watching when Jim Acosta was doing his Substack Live, an event in Washington, D.C., and my son Aaron was there, and I remember him talking, and this wonderful young lady got up to ask a question, and she asked a question, and that was Ellie.
It was me. I was like so nervous.
I remember, Ellie was there, and she asked a question, and I remember you posted a picture with you and Aaron, and look how life works. So I'm proud that you and him are working together. I know he's been up all night. I know you have. I know others other subscribers and fellow people that want to just get to the bottom of it. So I want to really thank you. I know it's tedious work because what people don't understand, it's hard enough if you're just think about if you had 1 million documents and they were all organized. Just think about that. They were all organized. They were all you had where you could go from here to there and you could look at a glossary and you have all of that. It would still take you so much time to be able to go through all that. But now what they've done is they've taken those millions of documents and they just did a mishmash, threw them all around and just dumped them in there and said, you know what? Go find the needle in the haystack. And there's plenty of needles, but go find them. And they're all over the place. And and that's what Ellie, Aaron, and others are doing right now. And I just want to say great work. And thank you for joining us today. Because, and I just want to say something to folks out there. I really want to make it clear because some people, I do not want to even mention Michael Cohen's name. If I had an option, I would rather not. But unfortunately, folks, Michael Cohen is in the Epstein files. Just like we talk about Donald Trump, just like we talk about Steve Bannon, just like we're going to talk about Elon Musk, just like we're going to talk about Howard Lutnick, Michael Cohen is in the Epstein files. The difference between all of those people and Michael Cohen is Michael Cohen, for some reason, is here on Substack in this community, continuously trying to put a divide, attacking Ellie, myself, and others like Zev and Waj and people that are just trying to ask him simple questions. Nobody's accusing him, except the only thing we've accused Michael Cohen of is that he knows more than he's telling us. That's the only thing we have accused him of.
And I mean, all of us,
including
Michael Cohen, all of us have said, I think all of us have said since the very beginning, it doesn't matter who's in the files. It doesn't matter their political side. It does not matter how much we like them. It does not matter if they're in a movie that we like or we looked up to them as an author or a teacher. Like, it just doesn't matter. Like, the point of us going through these files is holding people who did bad things accountable. And it could be, our best friend could land in those files. But the point of what we're doing is if there's somebody in there who did something bad and who hurt somebody or who was complicit and held information that could have helped somebody, we're going to call it out no matter who they are. And it's not against any individual person. It's because the mission of us going through these files is to find justice for people who were harmed as children. And there just should be no other priority. I mean, whether or not you're a parent, everybody knows the innocence of children, and that should be our number one priority. So there should not be any roadblocks based on like, oh, I'm friends with you, or oh, I have an alliance with you. Like, there shouldn't be, because the point is if anybody knows anything or anybody did anything, we're going to find it and we're going to call it out. And that's just it. There's no hard feelings. It's just the point of what we're doing.
Thank you, Ellie. And that was so well said. And I'm going to literally copy that, and I'm going to keep putting that out there, because, I mean, that is the whole message, folks. And that is so perfectly said, because unfortunately, and that bothers me, because just think about it, there are still 74,000 people following Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen's still doing a live, and there's over 1,000 people that are watching him. And these people are being lied to. These people are being manipulated. These people are being told that we are grifters, that we are lying, that we're trying to get clickbaits, that we're trying to get rage baits, that this is the wording that's being used. And it's wrong, because it's not about, I don't care about him insulting us. I care about the people that are out there, because you have people out there that are emailing, texting me, because some people happen to subscribe to both, and they're saying, Lev, leave Michael alone already. Hasn't he gone through enough? Why is everybody about ganging up on Michael Cohen? And to me, it sounds a little crazy. Like, if somebody would ask me, why am I I'm not ganging up on Michael. I'm trying to ask him a question. Michael Cohen's the one that's blocking me. Michael Cohen's the one that's not responding. Michael Cohen, just think about it. Even like right now, he went on and did a live with Brian Karem. Folks, I do not know Brian Karem. Never did a live, never spoken to him. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. So I don't have anything against Brian Karem. I don't know what it is. He did a live. I didn't right away go attack Brian Karem, because maybe Brian Karem says he's a journalist, was going to ask some questions, and that's why he's doing a live with Michael Cohen. All of a sudden, my DM blows up. Ellie, you can't believe it. They're like, Lev, you can't believe this. This guy, Brian Karem, is on there with Michael Cohen, and they're going through this thing again, whitewashing all of this Epstein stuff. And I was like, look, I mean, this is ridiculous. So again, folks, you saw what we did. I didn't insult Brian Karem. I went and I put a post out there. Brian Karem, please come join us. Come join us here on live and explain to us, what are the questions you asked Michael Cohen? You're an investigative journalist. We're not hiding. We're not asking. This is not a Twitter fight where we're trying to insult each other. And then when people start defending, that's what drives me crazy. When people come up and start saying, leave Michael alone, or Brian is a great guy, or this is a great, again, it's not about,
there's psychology behind that. Like, people talk about that psychology of when you think you know someone because you spend so much time listening to or watching them. And a perfect example was, people really struggled with the Cosby story. When Cosby was arrested for all the horrible things that he did, people fought on his behalf. They were like, no, he could never do this. I know him. I've seen him on TV for years. And there's just a psychology behind what we think we see when we hear people every day speaking versus who they actually are. And, something that I took issue with when we were talking yesterday and you were showing some of the clips of Michael Cohen and his lives, he was really joking about how he treated people when he got into interviews, and like he's like, that's just me, that's just how I talk. And I personally find the way that he speaks to people, especially women reporters, really offensive and inappropriate.
Just like his
And
boss.
yeah, and I don't think it's funny. And I mean, I get that that's completely separate from the issue at hand, but like that says something to me when somebody can get on TV and make somebody feel small or make somebody feel afraid or threaten them with your words. That says something to me about character. And so then I dig harder. If I know that that's how you treat people in front of a camera, then I do question about what's going on behind the scenes.
No, absolutely. And also, I want to say something else to all of you guys. We're an open community. So some of you here, I see like through some, very few, but I don't know if it's bots or it's actual people. If it's actual people, I'd like to give you the chance to come up. If you're more than welcome to come up and say why you would like to defend Michael Cohen. I'm really
Yeah.
curious. There's one person here, and she's Canadian. I'm really surprised. And Laura Van Horn. Laura, you said, Lev, you are gaslighting. Laura, I'm going to send you an invite right now. So if please explain to me what I'm gaslighting about. We would like to hear, because I'm really curious the mindset of how somebody right now would defend Michael Cohen or go out there and attack Ellie or attack me or attack. I mean, like, it just doesn't make sense, because I mean, all we're asking for is to answer some questions. And when
Right.
you come on here, and I guess Laura Van Horn is I guess she's a bot, because she's not accepting this,
Yeah.
so we'll cancel that out. But that invitation does stand to anybody that's out there.
Right.
If you really, and it doesn't mean you don't, you might, some people might be on here right now and honestly confused, not know, might go on there, listen to Michael Cohen, and he might, I know he talks. And if you're more than welcome to come up, ask me or Ellie a question, so we could, because what
Yeah.
we're trying to do, folks, is get to the bottom of the truth, just like Ellie said.
Yeah,
We're
and
not here.
it's
Yeah, go ahead.
it's very simple. I mean, all of us have said it since the beginning. If somebody's in there, because the big one that people always use is the Clintons, and I think people are very clear that if the Clintons have done something wrong, then throw them to the
Yeah,
wolves. Like there's
absolutely.
nobody who is beholden to the Clintons, and so anybody who's in here, it could be my best friend, but we're going to talk about it, and we're going to put a spotlight on it, because the whole point is that children were abused. Like there's nothing else at issue here. And so when we talk about, like, finding an email from Michael Cohen that shows that he knew something and didn't say something, like that should be an easy fix. He should be able to step up and say, okay, you're right, I either forgot or I didn't say something and I should have said something. Here's what I knew. And that's how you move forward from that. That doesn't convict him of a crime. That just means that we need your help. If you knew something and it helps these women, then let's say it. Let's just put it out in the open, and then we move to the next step. That helps, right? Like, be a helper, right? We're all supposed to be
Absolutely.
helpers. And anything that's a hindrance, you have to question yourself, why are you being a hindrance? Like, is it to protect yourself from something you've done? I don't know. But like anybody, like Steve Bannon, like Michael Wolff, like all these people who
All
have
of them.
information, I don't think that they molested children themselves. I'm not saying that they did, but I do know that they know a heck of a lot more than the rest of
Exactly.
us know, and they know a heck of a lot more than probably the FBI agents know. And like, all that could do is help. And that's all we're asking. We're asking for as many people who are out there, who have information, who can help, with the chance of besmirching their own reputation a little bit, but like, it's for the sake of helping children. Like, why would you not do that? It's beyond my comprehension. I just don't get it.
And that's why I'm glad me and you are talking about this,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that is a major concern that I'm having. Some people say, Lev, why are you going into his lives? Like, he blocked me. I can't go
Yeah.
into his lives now. And I said, because he's lying to people. It's like people need to hear the truth. We don't want to divide. We're not here to divide this community. We're not here to divide Substack. We're not here to have people. This is not a platform where we're trying to get opinions and get into arguments. This is a platform where we're trying to get to the truth. I mean, just think about what happened yesterday. Just in one day, folks. Think about what happened in one day. In one day we had an arrest of a journalist. Literally two journalists, excuse me, in the broad daylight. We had the day before, we had literally what's it called, a raid by the FBI in Georgia that's being conducted behind the scenes by our DNI, by Chrissy, by what's her name, Tulsi Gabbard. Yep. And in the thick of all of this, while we're also in the midst of having our talking about bombing Iran, okay, while we stole gas, you're stealing oil in Venezuela from the Venezuelan people. While all of this is happening, all of a sudden they come out and dump 3 million files. Yeah. But it's interesting. They not only dump them, but right afterwards, Blanche comes out and makes a statement, which was really odd to me. He makes a statement saying, "You're not going to find anything here. There's nothing here to find. There's no right." Did you see that?
Yeah. Have you heard him do his interviews before? He says the same thing, and then lets people lie. Yeah, he's a terrible person.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm going to introduce you. We're going to have my lawyer. I'm trying to get him on. He's very to himself, but my lawyer Joe Bondi, who has gone up against Todd Blanche plenty of times in my own case, because Blanche was my co-defendant's lawyer, especially trying to hide all the documents we were trying to share with Congress. So I'm trying to get him on to tell us some Blanche stories. So you guys have fun.
I was going to tell you, I just saw Kate Justice in the messages, and something that kind of connects the Don Lemon, the targeting of journalists and the Epstein files. She and I were talking at 4:00 in the morning.
Does Kate want to come up? Let me get Kate up. So hold on.
I want her to tell what.
Yeah, let's go. Absolutely.
It would be better.
Absolutely. Kate.
Amazing. We're freaking out at 4 a.m.
Yeah, Kate is another incredible journalist, and she's part of our team here. Hold on, let me find Kate.
She may or may, I think she just got out of the shower, so she may or may hop on camera. If not, I will tell her story with her permission.
Okay, let's do this. So I don't put her on the spot. Kate, why don't you, if you're good, just write in the comments saying "bring me up," and then I'll bring you up right away. Yeah. Because in the meantime, yeah, she's here. Yep, she's here. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
Okay, hold on. We got you, Kate. Here we go.
We were also finding a lot of Elon Musk stuff, so that was fun too.
Yeah, that's why. And again, we're not just going to get concentrated on Michael Cohen. We have a lot to talk about. He just constantly tries to keep himself in the spotlight. Hey, Kate, how are you? Welcome.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I'll spare you the camera. I haven't gotten in the shower yet.
I wanted you to tell your own story, what we were talking about last night.
Yeah, so I was messaging Ellie.
It was 4:00 in the morning.
It was the middle of the night, and I hadn't slept because I had gotten, so long story short, I've obviously written a lot. And one of the things I had written, I had gotten, I guess, a cease and desist, if you will. And it was, very strongly worded and very specific about what was and was not the case. And so there was an email that I had referenced, and this person said that they were not associated with it whatsoever. So at 3:30 in the morning, I found that email, and it was not redacted, and it was that person. And so they had sent me a cease and desist threatening me.
This is how I met Kate in the beginning, because she had received this letter.
Because I had this letter, and people connected me with Ellie, because I'm still just beginning, and I didn't know where to go with that, because these are not small people, they're pretty significant people. And so I found that actual email that was not redacted and proved that everything I wrote was very, very accurate.
So this person, and I won't say well, we're not supposed to say for now, Kate.
Yeah.
But this person had basically said that they had never met Epstein. They didn't know anything about Epstein. They were unconnected with Epstein. They were unconnected with this other big financial controversy going on. And the fact that Kate would bring that up is completely is illegal and besmirches their reputation and blah 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 blah. Well, Kate found an email from this person to Epstein talking about that financial racketeering controversy, and it was like, it was like, okay, well, there's the email. So now,
and then it's like really, really, there's actually a lot to this because this person, when I searched, is in there quite a few times, very connected.
Wow.
One of the statements that they made was that, they'd met Epstein, but they claimed to never have any professional relationship or coordinate any meetings whatsoever. And
that's what the emails are about.
multiple emails where this person is doing just that. So it was very validating.
Well, it was really interesting because it was the same night when they were like arresting Don Lemon and Georgia Fort and like all these and because journalists are going to be targeted. They were targeted in the first administration. They're more targeted now. There are more journalists now, and because more journalists are more independent now, they don't have as much like legal backing and like overhead. And so, on the one hand, they have a lot more work to do because there's so many journalists out there, so they can't get us all. But on the other hand, we're probably a lot more vulnerable than journalists used to be when they were all at like the New York Times.
Right. We don't have that like legal support in that way. I mean, I'm sure it's there, but it's not as obvious to us.
Right.
And to Ellie's point, obviously there's scandal to the content that is involved in all of this, but also just to Ellie's point, the fact that this person and their legal team knowing, because there's no way their legal team doesn't know. Right. There's just no way. They knowingly sent me this email and this threat to remove my whole piece, using their name and knowing that it was all completely not true, that I was actually very right. And they just wanted my article down. And it was very blatant.
Yeah.
I just want to say this to you and Ellie before you guys continue going, because I'm so proud of both of you, and that's so incredible because I know it's so dangerous work because people don't understand the harassment. Not only do the survivors are going through it, which is unheard of, but even the independent journalists, the threats constantly and dealing with it. So I just want to tell you and put it out there that I know of some very powerful, incredible lawyers that will protect and make sure so you guys do not have to be scared. If you I got your back, and if you guys have that we will support to make sure to get this, because to hold accountability to some of these problems. Because listen to the story, by the way. If you think about it, they all have the same story. It's at first they denied, just like Michael Cohen released the files. Well, I don't know Epstein. I know nothing about. All of a sudden, I'm in the Epstein files. Well, that's a lie. That's not me. My lawyers. I was in prison. Release the file. Another bag. I'm in the Epstein file. It's like, I'm going to sue you if you talk about it. Tara Palmieri. Zev, you should choke on something. Here he goes. Again, he's in the Epstein file.
I don't get it. Like, we all know the internet. Like, we've all been here for a long time. Like, we know if we've done something that it exists somewhere. Like if I go delete my entire Gmail account, there's another end to all my emails. They went somewhere. I don't really understand. Like if I was someone like Michael Cohen, or if I was someone who I knew had crossed paths with Epstein in my lifetime, I would be searching my emails to be like, did I contact this guy? Because maybe I don't remember if I did or not, but I would be looking for it. And so for all of these people who are like, I'm going to send you a cease and desist letter. I'm going to threaten you. I'm going to say, let's go help the survivors and empty out those files. And they know that they're in there. I don't know what their plan is. It's very Donald Trump to be like, let's do it all. But I'm not going to think one day ahead and know
that narcissistic is what it is.
I don't
just assume someone will deal with it because they always have, and they don't.
I just don't understand it. It's like, if you're in there, what do you expect us to not find? You're in there. I mean, I don't know.
You both of you just said something very, very important that unites this group of people, that why they're all in the loop is because all of these people are narcissistic. If you take a look at, they're all narcissists, and they're all people are like Donald Trump. They care about only themselves. That they think their power will control, and they could intimidate. They could have their lawyers send you cease and desist. They could do. It's the same tactics. You could take a look at. And that's why the people, the names that constantly are coming up in the files, doesn't matter if they're Democrats, Republicans, but if you look at their history, I mean, these are people that have the same narcissism, because it doesn't matter if you have a D or R, or if you are Jewish or Christian, or if you're black or white or brown. It doesn't matter. You still, narcissist doesn't have like a...
No, it's like a biological brain.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Environment.
Yeah. It's very childlike. You know what I mean? Like, it's very childlike to not think of a consequence for your actions. And I always think about that. Like, that whole idea of Trump campaigning on the Epstein files, like, what did he think was going to happen?
Really
like, okay, I mean,
yeah.
And then
I'll tell you a little story about that if you want to hear why he made that mistake.
Yes,
screwed him up. So I'll tell you guys, this is important because Trump is so narcissistic. He does, like, even with the Russians. Trump, there's been files about Trump his whole life. People have been, because he's just a controversial person, and been involved with a lot of controversial people, mobsters, politicians, you name it. He's been there. He's been around for a long time. And Trump, in his first administration under Bill Barr, did not have the same control of the DOJ. That's what people don't know. Even though, yes, Bill Barr protected Donald Trump, but Bill Barr did it at his own pleasure, as you would say it. He was protecting the office, not Donald Trump himself per se. Bill Barr actually hated Donald Trump, and they hated each other. It's a story of its own. So Bill Barr never, ever showed Donald Trump what was in the Epstein files. Same thing with FBI Director Chris Wray. Never sat down with Donald Trump and say, wait a second, President Trump, you're all over the Epstein files. So, so Trump had no idea what's in the Epstein files.
But did he not think that they hung out? Like,
yeah,
I mean,
I don't think he knew that Epstein was like tailing him.
Exactly.
I think that Epstein was intel and he was a target. And I think
and not just Epstein,
was Russian.
Right. Kate is on it, and not just Epstein, but others. And because this was a whole, Trump doesn't even think how many 6 million files, what's in there, who else, where is Epstein? Trump has his own.
They dealt with it. Yeah.
He did not. He couldn't imagine that there's going to be actual, complaints from 13-year-old girls, which we're going to get into, Ellie, a little bit. I want you to tell us what you found and Kate in it. But he couldn't imagine. So when he got in, and when they all got in, and they sat down, when Pam Bondi sat down with them and Kash Patel, and they opened it up and said, hey, boss, you are the Epstein files. That is when they said, shut down. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
That's when he realized, because before that, he didn't have the same control. He didn't know the same thing. He might have heard, he might have knew, yes, they got a picture of me and Epstein, but he couldn't imagine that they had actually, statements from 13-year-old girls in there, beside, they're saying, and we're starting to see a lot of things. And then he didn't know Elon Musk is all over the files. He didn't know Howard Lutnick is in the files.
Right.
He didn't know. See, that's another thing. He didn't know all those other people that are surrounding him are in the files. And that's why when he got in office and when he actually opened it and they said, take a look, he was like, holy shit, this is going to take all of us down.
The interesting thing about Elon, because Elon, ran his mouth a few months ago about Trump being in the Epstein files. I don't think he realized he himself was in it a whole bunch, because if you think of what Doge had access to, when Doge was copy pasting the entire government, they had full access to the Epstein files. And if he had wanted to, he could have gotten fired and he could have released the files himself, but he didn't. And that's when it kicked in for me that he was probably in them.
Yeah, that's why he was threatening you. Exactly.
Yeah, I was like, smart. Well, if he thinks Trump's this big bad guy, like, you had full access to releasing them yourself through Doge, and you didn't. So
was in there like asking for Epstein's wildest party day on.
Yes,
he's not even just like casually having business meetings. He's like, "What's your wildest party?" I mean, he's really incriminating himself. There's another
people
one
scheduling, the people scheduling massages, that
I Epstein. We're live, and I was sending you. I was like, "Oh my gosh, Musk! Look at this one!" Yeah,
guys, can you do me a favor, because a lot of our subscribers, I know you guys know this. Like,
I know we're having our own
but a lot of subscribers are like,
"Oh
my god!" They're like, "Oh my god, what are you saying?" Like,
okay.
So give us a little recap.
Sorry, we chat a lot offline.
We've been up all night long with this, so it was like we're just in our own little world.
Yes. So I was online.
Bring us up to speed on what so far you guys have found, and like Elon Musk, Lutnick, any of this stuff, Owen, anything.
So when she was texting me, I was on with you guys yesterday, and she was texting me while I was on with you guys, and she was texting me emails of like people scheduling massage appointments for Elon Musk. Something that somebody sent me yesterday that I haven't looked into in depthly, but is in emails, is we know of these like tech bros who started QAnon. You know, we know more of the story of like how QAnon started with like 8chan and 4chan and these kind of offshoot, message boards. And there's like a specific date for one of the people who was starting this thing that then turned into QAnon, and it's like October 2011. Like there's a specific date, you can look at it online, and there's the guy's name. There's an email of Epstein meeting with the same kid who'd started that on October 2011, like 3 days before, and he's like, "Hey boss, you should meet this kid. He's got some really great ideas." We sat down and we like hashed it all out tonight, which shows that potentially Epstein had some effect on the creation of QAnon, which is really interesting.
I believe that so much.
Because the people of QAnon, their whole thing was about like child trafficking and like Pizzagate and all this stuff, when it potentially was Epstein meeting with the kids who were creating QAnon like 3 days later and having like these conference calls with them and having them over to his house and hashing it all out and making decisions. That is literally in emails in these files that he could have been a part of the original creation of QAnon, which is mind-blowing.
I got goosebumps because now
it's so ironic
to me because of his relationship with Bannon. And then Bannon's relationship Bannon's relationship with what's his name, Michael Flynn, and Michael Flynn was behind the scenes. And I remember this. Oh my God, guys, keep digging because I think you're onto something there.
Yeah, there's like so many.
When you read all of the conversations between Steve Bannon and Epstein, and it makes sense. I mean, there is so many in there, like iMessages and things back and forth from just previous releases. I haven't even looked really for him in this one, but it's just them very strategically manipulating. Bannon would present something or do a rally or do something in another country, and then he would check in with Epstein and they would joke about, they would make Holocaust jokes about how this is similar and like use terms like, because I remember like referencing Kristallnacht and stuff and then just like all these different, and it was in the files, and I posted about it. And so when you go and look at this, you can see that Steve Bannon and Epstein, yes, they probably felt a certain way, as far as the MAGA movement and all of that. But it was very manipulative. Like, it's not even just because they truly believed that this is what should be. It's like, no, this is what benefits the people that are paying us, the people that we're trying to, benefit and make money. This is how that works because we can separate, you divide and conquer.
This is such big. This is really big news because I'm also starting to think back in his first campaign when Bannon joined. When he was part of the campaign, got out of the campaign, still close. I remember, some things that I'm going to start looking into. Also, you just put me on the track. That is definitely that's some breaking stuff. That's great work.
Yeah,
because
it was.
QAnon,
So,
go
so
ahead.
here's the date. So I'm looking at it now. So this guy, he met with this kid named Christopher Poole, who is associated with the creation of QAnon. But then there's this other guy named Ron Watkins, who's from Mukilteo, Washington, which is kind of like my old stomping ground area, who actually was the founder. But Chris Poole started this thing called the 4chan Politically Incorrect, which then turned into QAnon. He started it on October 23rd, 2011. And Jeffrey Epstein was meeting him on October 20th, 2011. And he said, last night and this morning, really fun. Also met some interesting people. There's this cool kid you should meet. And it's Christopher Poole. He's only 23. Yeah. So, and he had been sitting down.
That's insane.
3 days before.
I mean, he could have been the original Q. He could have been the original Q and then I think Michael Flynn took over after
he loved all the brain, like psychology stuff. He loved to do that kind of thing.
And there's so much of it in the files too. Like if you look through these things, there's not just emails and videos. There's like lots of research. There's lots of papers and science and psychology and things where he's clearly gathering this information.
Yeah.
And it's on other countries. That was like when I wrote my last piece that I just published. I think it was the last one, but it was just connecting some of like the Snowden stuff to Epstein. And one of the specific files from Snowden that I downloaded was called Muslim porn. And the whole thing was about their culture and how that impacts them and how to use that as blackmail. And
QAnon was based on a porn site. That's how that got started as well.
Yeah. And then Epstein, if you, all those emails back and forth with the Sultan that he's constantly talking to, there's one in particular where the Sultan had sent to Epstein information about sexual blackmail as it pertains to, the Muslim population. It was very specific and it's in a similar time frame. And so there's just lots of really, I don't even know what to call it. It's like really,
there's really weird stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, folks, before we go into any further, I just want to make sure we have a little over 2,000 people here. This is some incredible breaking news. So I need you to do a few things. A, I want you to keep smashing those hearts. B, hit that share button right now and share this information with as many people as you can. C, if you're coming in late, we're going to put this out live later. The information that you're going to be hearing today needs to be spread out as far and wide. And last but not least, what's more important is you need to go hit that little button up there, that gray button, and I need you to go subscribe to both Ellie and both to Kate Justice. It is extremely important because of what this is two incredible independent journalism, what true independent journalism is. And I just want you to understand, for the amount that you could have both of these independent journalists subscribe to is less than a cup of coffee a month. So I encourage you, for those that can, become paid subscribers because they have families, they have kids, and they're out there till 4 a.m, out there making sure to get you the information to think about. It's not breaking news on media, no CNN, nobody's talking about none of this stuff. That's the crazy. Think about all of the stuff that's being dumped, and we have not seen no breaking news on none of the big platforms about anyone, not about any Howard Lutnick's letter, not Michael Cohen's letter, not Musk stuff, none of this stuff. So that's why it's important to support independent journalism, folks. So I want to make sure that please, while you're here, hit that little chyron out there, subscribe to Ellie, subscribe to Kate Justice, and make sure if you can become paid subscribers because it goes a long way. And for those of you that can, don't feel bad. I don't want you, because some, people say, we feel bad on the platform. You don't feel bad. There's different ways you can support. We're a family. Become a free subscriber. We don't have paywalls. We're here. Oh, let me know if you ever want. I think Waj is up here. Is Waj here?
I might have him. If he wants to take my spot, I have to take my kids to the arcade.
let me. Okay. Well, Ellie leaves Waja. Don't leave. Then we'll bring you up.
Can I ask a question though? Since there's a nice big chunk of people here.
Yeah,
if
please.
Anyone here is techie or they have access and knowledge Both Kate and I are looking. So their files were dropped last night. They've dropped batch 9, 10, 11, and 12. We have 11 and 12 that are accessible, and we've combined them and made them easy to read and easy to scroll. If you know of a way to access files 9 and 10 that are not through the DOJ has them as individual thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of documents. If anybody knows of somebody or a location where we can download them all at once for files 9 and 10 that they released yesterday, if there is another location, another folder, I will take those and I'll combine them and make them easier to read. But right now, what they have on the DOJ is like inaccessible. It will never get through it. So.
And then it keeps timing out on you. So like you'll search and then it's like, oh, I'm not a robot. Oh, are you 18? And then you have to like start your search all over and figure out it's a nightmare. It's like deliberate.
So if anybody has figured out a way to download the entire 9 and the entire 10 into like a Dropbox or whatever, I will go through and simplify it and make it easier to scroll so it's all one big PDF. But if anybody has done that, you can email me or you can go to my my Signal and do it. I will never see it in my DMs. So if you can email me, my email is
or if you need to get they can reach out to any one of us. We'll get you
just that would be so helpful, and then I can make that easier for people to get.
Let's go techies out there. We have a lot of techies out here. So if you know somebody, let's get this information. Let's help them out. And you could, and if you can't, the easiest way maybe is you could send it to our volunteer hotline, lev@pttp@proton.me. Jay will make sure, that Ellie gets it, Kay gets it, and we'll spread it around. So folks, any way you could help, definitely help. Kate, Ellie, before you go, Waj, I think wanted to come up while you were on here. So Kate, I'm gonna say thank you so much. Go jump in the shower because we don't want to hold you. Keep doing an incredible work, and we're gonna be going live during the week with lots of updates. Like I said, they just dumped it. They were up till 4 a.m. Thank you so much for the incredible work. Please go subscribe to Kate. Take care, Ellie. Stay with me for a second. Bye, Kate. We're gonna try to bring Waj up right now because he had some questions.
For a couple minutes.
Yeah, and then we'll send you off on your way with the kids.
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, it's a Saturday.
It's always busier.
Yeah, let me tell her say invite. Oh.
Yeah, the HBO QAnon. I can't even watch it because I've watched part of it, but it was like, I know I have people in my life who support QAnon and follow QAnon, and it wasn't very comfortable for me to watch. I did not enjoy it. I will say that.
So I said that while we're waiting for Waj, anything else you want to just throw in there to give us a quick anything else?
I know there's a lot of really there's that piece that got deleted and then brought back, and there was some confusion if it was deleted or not. That big yellow highlighted.
What was that about?
So there's going to be a lot of cases in here of the actual accusations, and we're going to see a lot of the depositions and witness testimony. The thing that I want people to bear in mind when they listen to these, because always, you always give people the benefit of the doubt when they have a victim or a survivor accusation. Every time, give them the benefit of the doubt while you research it. You have to also remember that this is the entire FBI file, and it's a little bit like a tip line for when a crime happens. So if like, let's say there was a huge crime in your neighborhood and they opened up an FBI tip line, there will be a lot of truth in the tip lines, but not everything will be true. So you just kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, do your homework, go with what you know. If something feels very extravagant. I remember there was one letter in the previous drop where a woman said she was abused, and everybody in the room was like a major Democratic politician. It was Biden and Obama and like all these like Democratic podcasters. And I just thought, you know what, I feel like this letter is a little bit purposeful, and I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. And I'm going to assume, since I haven't seen Obama and Biden anywhere else in the files, I'm probably not going to believe this letter, but I'll do my homework about it. I think that's fair to say. But, you will see things where you have to really think about, be like, do I feel like this lines up look it up, make sure you give them the benefit of the doubt. But there's everybody and their mother has a very long list of accusations in there. So we have to be a little bit careful.
Thank you, Ellie.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our brother Waj. I mean, we don't know who sleeps, who's up. I mean, we're like Waj says, we're masochists. We're here. It's a sad. Welcome, brother.
Now, what's so funny? What's so funny is probably great minds think alike. Ellie, I was like, I just texted Lev, and I'm like, whenever you have time, let's all you, me, and Ellie, let's talk about Trump's cabinet and how. Because I've been going through it, and there's so much, folks, but it's just, and pardon me for if I'm repeating anything that you've already said, but I mean, if we just did a deep dive, right? If you break it down, I think Ellie does a really good job on her Substack, which you should all subscribe to, right? Just like, all right, JP Morgan, Steve Bannon, right? Connections to Israel, which are a lot, Mossad, right? But if you just say Trump's cabinet, folks, if we just focus on that,
Howard Lutnick,
Lutnick's all over it. You got the new Fed Chair pick, Ken Marsh is in the Epstein files. You have Donald Trump. Let's not forget the president of the United States, Donald Trump. Despite every effort to redact him twice, they failed. You have Elon Musk, this mother effer, this idiot, trying his best to like deflect and gaslight us. I mean, in the worst ways possible, folks. Talking about the island and the parties. Like, this is like you can't explain this away. You talk about Barry Weiss and the person that she just hired on CBS, the doctor who had a very extensive relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and the disgusting nature of it is that they know this man is gross. They know if this was exposed, it'd be bad. This is all after the conviction, right? I'm looking at the dates just to be fair, Ellie and Lev. I'm like, all right, maybe this is 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008. Oh, no. 2018, 2015, 2012. And Howard Lutnick, giving the age, like, so weird. Like, my family will be here. Here are the kids. These are their ages, which is so weird.
That's super weird.
Richard Branson, bring your harem. Next time, bring your harem. Ha ha ha. And I'm like, bro, like,
does it surprise anyone? Does it surprise anyone that the guy who's got something called Virgin Airlines is on the Epstein files on the island? That didn't surprise me.
And I was thinking about this, Ellie and Lev. I'm trying to like be really fair, right? And I was like, all right, let me be fair, because maybe, you're in this situation, guys, and suppose, we go to conferences, right? Or I used to, when they used to invite me, and there's all these random people there. I don't know everyone. So there could be someone who be like, bro, I was in a conference. I don't know who this guy was. But when you say stuff like bring your harem, when he's already convicted, when you're saying take me to your island, what Elon Musk has done, Howard Lutnick, all these individuals. When Larry Summers is
scheduled their massages.
Larry Summers is up to his arrest, getting girlfriend advice. Come on, guys. What am I missing here? Come on.
Right. Or even in the 90s, flying with him and going, wow, it looked like he was surrounded by teenagers that weren't his children. I think that was something that Michael Poole said.
And then, the real sick part also that I think that really is coming to light, and is that, yes, I know Donald Trump, we have to pretend, has never been actually convicted or accused, or we don't know how but you're seeing, before this dump of files, as far as the only real 13-year-old that we heard was the Katie Johnson story. They came forward, that spoke about, and that's why it was. But now you're seeing in this dump that there's more accusations.
There's
lots of stories. There's lots of 13, 14-year-old girl talking about Donald Trump. I'm not going to even talk about the disgusting nature, but they all, if you look, the stories are very similar to Katie Johnson, what she said. And what Katie Johnson said, folks, and I want to remind everybody, is that there was Epstein through these parties where they would have 13, 14 girls under 16 years old, where he would have these wealthy men there, and then they were going around and basically, I don't want to continue. So, and you're seeing a pattern. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I've got to hop up, but I want to say two things about that. Number one is when you hear a lot of these accusations that are very detailed, and you hear their depositions, they are prior to this case being a big deal in the media. They are prior to anyone really knowing about Epstein if you weren't in his circle. And you hear from the girls' testimony that they do not want to give a deposition. They are not interested. They want to go home. They have been brought in and they don't want to talk. And so that gives me, when I read their deposition, that gives it a lot more credibility, because there's no pomp and circumstance to them stepping forward and saying that I was a survivor. This is not a big news story. It's not buzzy. It's just something that's devastating for them. And they don't want to be involved, but they're, begrudgingly telling their story. So that for me is very, very credible. And it is a bunch of 14-year-olds. And it is really, really, it's really gross. And it also is gross involving Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, she's absolutely a player. Second thing I want to say before I hop off is we have this cool little thing. I mean, it's through the Justice Department, so you take it for what it is. But there is like a search bar where in the Epstein files where you can just search up a name, which not all these documents are totally searchable, so it doesn't find everything. But currently, with what we have, if you type Trump into the search bar in the Epstein files, it comes up with 5,362 results.
Oh my God. Wow.
So that is where we are.
And Ellie, before you leave, and just connecting the dots to what Lev was saying, you see patterns of behavior, right? And so, and as a transcriber, you've talked about it. You've transcribed so many of this that you kind of know the shorthand of, this is probably Epstein writing it. If you look at again, you just look at patterns of behavior, folks, right? Did you all see the cellmate interview that was done by the FBI? Did you? And I just want to read this before you leave. I mean,
please, that's part of
summaries. Okay, just stick with me before Ellie, if you leave, because I'm just look at this. What we know, the consistent stories, the consistent information, right? So the cellmate, this is an FBI interview with Epstein's cellmate. Apparently had conversations, and the cellmate talked about all these powerful people and what allegedly, I'm assuming, Epstein told them about these powerful people. All right. So this is the one about Harvey Weinstein. I'll just jump to Harvey Weinstein. Name redacted, stated she gave Weinstein a massage, during which he fondled her, masturbated, and offered to pay her extra if he could ejaculate on her chest. Blank stated Weinstein came to her apartment, offered her a job, and then tried to follow her into the shower. Blank stated Epstein told her to give Weinstein a massage, during which Weinstein tells her to take off her shirt. She refuses, and then Weinstein threatens to get the woman to come force her to. Now, all I'm saying is, if you just look at that example, and you look at the dozens of women who have accused Harvey Weinstein, it's the same exact behavior.
Right.
Donald Trump, same thing. Sorry, go ahead, Ellie.
That was one of the first cases that I got to work on as a transcriber was the Weinstein story and their book that came out afterwards. And so I listened to a lot of interviews that were not even included, that were off the record. And that's the MO. I mean, that is exactly the MO for Harvey Weinstein. So that is a very credible story.
And I just wanted to do this one before you leave. Trump. Blank stated Epstein introduced this girl to Trump, who subsequently forced her head down to his exposed genitals, which she subsequently bit. In response, Trump punched her in the head, kicked her out. Blank remembers Epstein introduced her to Trump saying, "This is a good one, huh?" And Trump responded, "Yes." And speaking about the pattern of Donald's alleged violence against women, even against his first wife, which he then recanted. Remember that, folks? Where she accused him originally of rape because she was so upset about a botched hair transplant. And then also he's held liable for E. Jean Carroll, roughed her up in the hall, his own Access Hollywood tape. Grab her by the feet.
Hollywood, if you go through, so I did a long time ago, I did a thing where I just did all the accusations against Trump, and there were 31 of them. If you link that tape to all the accusations, it's the exact, that's how he did approach women, that whole grab him by the pussy. That was what he did to all these 31 women. They all said, and this was before the Access Hollywood tape came out. So they didn't even know about it. And that's how he would find people in a restaurant, in the back hallway, in a back stairwell. He did that to everybody who accused him.
Yeah, and again, it all comes back to if you really take a look at Katie Johnson's testimony, if you listen to it carefully, it's everything what Waj is talking about, what Ellie's talking. It's the same pattern, so think about how could these. Oh, and this is very important. Before you go, Ellie, all of these people we're talking about don't have any ties together except Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump.
Yeah, and a lot of it's
Katie
before the
Johnson,
story
right?
was a big deal. Like, they didn't even know
Exactly.
it was a big deal. They just
Right,
were
but
like this.
right, but no, but what I'm saying to you is think about the accusers, the stories, these different 13-year-old girls that are saying these stories.
Right.
They're not. It's not like they
Yeah, it
were
was sealed.
put
It was
together.
sealed. They didn't
It was
know.
sealed. They don't know each other. These are stories that they're from all over. People are saying thousands
over years, Lev.
Over years, and they're the same stories, the same patterns.
Yeah, we have Annie Farmer's like journals from 11th grade where she's gaslighting herself, saying maybe this isn't a big deal, but I really, really didn't like it, and they're really sad. I mean, but they're so credible. So anyway, I gotta hop up.
Ellie,
I gotta go
you
to
gotta
the
run
horse
with your
to
kids. Everybody, before Ellie runs, make sure you go subscribe. Make sure you become a paid subscriber to Ellie, to Waj, to me. But Waj, don't leave yet. Ellie, go run with the kids. Thank you so much for joining us.
Have a great afternoon. Have a good Saturday, guys.
You too. Take care, Ellie. Go have some fun with the kids. She's been up till 4 in the morning, Waj. 4 in the morning she was up there. I don't know how they do it. My son also. I called him today. He's like this. He goes, Dad, I can't even think straight.
I agree, and they've been doing fantastic work, and I've been trying. I'm right now flying solo as a parent. My wife's at a conference, and I got kids. Always got a whole bunch of kids over, but there's just so much. There's so much, and we just have to pull together, right? And it's just going back to something that happened yesterday. Let's not forget 4 journalists, including Don Lemon, Black independent journalists, were arrested on bullshit charges. Thankfully, all 4 are released. So we have to stick together. And what we've always said is fascists come for everyone. So I think it's a coalition, right? And yesterday, you and me both jumped on Don Lemon's show. Well, Don Lemon invited me, meaning his producer, and then Joy. So we just got to stick together right now in this particular moment. And what you and I have said, folks, yesterday proves it again. The biggest club, it's not the only club, the biggest club to swing against Donald Trump is the Epstein files. This is his Achilles cankel. It's not the only one. He's overreached on ICE. He's overreached on the economy, all multiple vectors there to just kind of go after him and weaken the regime. But the biggest club remains the Epstein files. And I don't know if you've been following social media on the right wing. I'm a masochist. The latest batch, and what people have found out, it's only been a day, folks. Just give it like 2 or 3 more days as people pour through it. You have some hardcore right-wing influencers breaking away. They're like, we were lied to. This is disgusting. What the F? So I still maintain that the biggest club, not the only club, the biggest club to take on Donald Trump is the Epstein files. And now we know that it seems like being part of this Epstein pedophile cabal is like a prerequisite to be part of the Trump administration. Like what the hell, man? Like Lutnick's in there. Why is Ken Marsh's name in there? Ken Marsh is the toady that he wants to replace Powell with, so he could lower the interest rates and destroy the economy, right? Elon Musk, I consider him part of the Trump administration. Elon Musk, you're all up in it, folks. You gave $300 million. You were there at the inauguration. You were part of Doge. I'm never going to let you escape it. And Elon, much like Michael Cohen, thought that he could gaslight us and be like, remember, folks, when Elon broke away with Donald Trump last year, he goes, Trump is in the Epstein files. So are you, bro. And I want to read this real quick. So are you. 16 emails. For those who don't know, I'm reading this from NBC News, okay? Tech billionaire Elon Musk has for years said he didn't know convicted sex offender Epstein very well. In 2019, before Epstein died, Musk told Vanity Fair that he considered Epstein, quote, a creep, and said that Epstein, quote, tried repeatedly to get me to visit his island, but Musk had declined. Documents released yesterday by the Justice Department provide another perspective. The records include at least 16 emails between Musk and Epstein between 2012 and 2013. This is 4 years after Epstein was convicted of being a pedophile, where Musk, and you just go check out the documents for themselves. I did, Aaron did, Lev did, Ellie did. Musk expressed interest in visiting Epstein's Caribbean island. By that time, everyone knew what was happening. Also, quote, let me quote him. What day/night will be the wildest party on your island? Musk wrote in an email to Epstein in November 2012. Musk sought to visit the island at least twice, 2012 and again in late 2013, according to the emails, indicating that the interest in him visiting was not entirely one cited. In one post, Musk denied attending Epstein parties. I have never been to any Epstein parties ever and have many times called for the prosecution of those who have committed crimes with Epstein. The acid test for justice is not the release of the files, but rather the prosecution of those who committed heinous crimes with Epstein. Lev, your response.
I mean, Waj, I mean, it's the same pattern with all of them. It's like just like how we started today. I don't even know if you know the controversy started in the morning, but Michael Cohen decided to have said coffee with Michael and Brian Karam. He brought in Brian Karam. I don't know if you know Brian. I don't know Brian.
I know Brian. Oh, I should tell Brian. Okay, what happened?
Please have Brian come in because I don't want it to So let me tell you what happened, and please definitely get in touch with Brian. So Brian went on the show, and some people started DMing me telling me that the Brian is kind of covering up for Michael, whitewashing some of the stuff because he helped him write the book or something. So I went, me, Waj. Right away. I went on Substack and I said, Brian Karam, I don't know you, but we're going to do a show live right now. You're more than welcome to come, please, and tell us what questions you asked and what is going on. So Brian has not come, not responded. He responded something like, oh, I don't want to be like, that I don't want to be a part or something like that, but there's no being a part. Tell Brian that I'm not looking to be controversial. We're not screaming. I want to have a normal car. Maybe he's not aware of what's happening, but he needs to. But the fact that he went on the show today with Michael Cohen, spent an hour talking about the Epstein files, while Cohen again is in the Epstein files. Just think about this, Waj. Michael Cohen keeps saying, release the files. Every time he sees they release the files, his name is in the files. Every single time. There's 3 releases, and 3 times Michael Cohen's in the file. So definitely.
I know Brian well. Brian is a married Trump nerd Avenger, a good guy. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Please, yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know the full angle. Maybe he doesn't know the story. And actually, he reached out to me yesterday because he's a fierce defender of the First Amendment. He's been taking on Trump. He's been sued by the Trump administration. In my interaction with him over the past several years, he's just a good guy. Awesome. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I wasn't there, but maybe he doesn't know. And look, with Michael Cohen, a lot of people still believe him, right? A lot of people are like, maybe Waj and Ellie and all these other. Folks, I got nothing against. I have no beef against any of these people. I'm just telling you straight up, what I saw for the last, several months is each time Michael Cohen talks about Epstein, he got weird. My spidey sense tingled. And then I was on a Zev, Ellie, I think Nick, Lev, I don't know, a Zev hosted show. He brings me on. I had no idea Michael Cohen was going to be on there. He keeps kind of interrupting me. I'm like, whatever. But he was on there. I had no idea. People are like, why are you on with Michael Cohen, bro? I'm like I had no idea it was going to be. I don't know. So I say my piece, I leave. And then Zev just brings up in a very benign, non-confrontational way something about the Epstein files. Michael flips out. Same MO, pattern of behavior that we talked about. Tara Palmieri, she has the video. She asks him, he flips out. And like Ellie was shocked. She even told me, she goes, wow, that was weird. Then Ellie's subscriber finds the Rule 35 consideration where he reaches out in 2019 when he's in prison, saying, hey, you can commute my sentence. I got something. I heard Donald Trump talk about Epstein. And then you find out that, what was it, 2 weeks ago, that Michael Cohen on Substack says, I was coerced by Alvin Bragg and Letitia James. And then Donald Trump says, see, witch hunt, right? So all of this to me, folks, is like, bro, you got a lot of stuff you got to answer. Like, tell me if we're being unfair here. And he keeps flipping out. And I don't think Brian knows all about this, the Rule 35 consideration. Maybe the Substack.
That's me, Waj. I don't want to. That's why I said to you, I'm glad you know him. Tell Waj, no, there's no. I'm not confronting him. He probably doesn't know. I welcome him to come up with me, with us, or give me a call. I'll bring him up to speed, and then we could do a live because it was a bad look today. People went on there, were attacking, saying like, Brian, why are you on here? And I think Michael used him because just like in between me and you, he's a really shitty human being because
between me and you and the 3,000 people watching.
Yes, between all of I love that. This is what Substack Live is. But you know what? The fact that he is sitting there and bringing up, using Don Lemon's name constantly, using other people's names out there that I know don't want to be associated with them right now, using it to be able to grift, and it really, really, really bothers me. You know what I mean? It really bothers me that instead of confronting it, we should be all on the same side, getting the Epstein files out. We're sitting here and debating and arguing and about subscribe. It's disgusting. I see, bro. You got your
no. I was just looking. I got a whole bunch of kids, and my daughter was getting a pizza. Wait, no, we're good. Nunuber, you got a pizza? You okay? All right. She was getting a pizza and it was melting in her hands. I was making sure because I just gave him pizza before. All right. So that's all. Pardon me. But I shared this, and Don told me I shared this without sharing the private conversation. But you mentioned to me, I think a couple of days ago, that Michael was like kind of using Don's name, and I said, "Listen, Don." I texted him. Actually, you called me and said, "Listen, I got nothing against Don, but Michael is using Don's name to say, oh, Don has my back." And I said, "Don, listen, I just want to get this clarified. This is what Michael is apparently saying." And then Don calls me immediately back. He goes, "Listen, I reached out to him. I said, I can't have you on my show until we clear this up. I've invited him 3 times. Each time he used to say yes. I waited. Next time he said, sure, didn't show up. 3rd time. So I said, we have to talk about this, the fact that you did the Substack." And, he goes, "Yeah, I got it. I'll do it. Sure. Yeah." So, what we talked about, don't share what we talked. He told me what they talked about. He said, don't share the conversation. But the overall, Don said, all I did was, I said, you got to come on the Don Lemon show and talk about this, the Substack, before we talk about anything else. And he says, like, it's, I followed up 2 more times. So no, I don't have anything there where like I'm supporting this. So that was from Don a couple of days ago.
Thank you, Waj.
And then you saw Don.
Thank you.
Yeah, you saw Don got
arrested.
So you have to yeah. And so folks, the thing with the Epstein files, what you've seen so far is Elon Musk's to our faces not only lied, but like the degree of shamelessness, like how shameless, arrogant, and so willfully blind to your own sins do you have to be that you say, release the Epstein files, Donald Trump is all over it, and then you don't share that you've had 16 emails between them, right? Or the fact that look at Donald Trump, the shamelessness and arrogance that they used QAnon. They used the deep state conspiracy. You were part of it, Lev. You were part of you got into it. And he's like, oh, this will rally the base. We'll get to power. Only Donald Trump is the one who can expose the deep state. And what was the Rosetta Stone of the deep state? The Epstein files. And you would think, oh, I don't know, if I'm in the Epstein files thousands of times and was his closest friend and have multiple allegations of rape and just the worst behavior, maybe I would have some shame and not promote it. But they didn't care because, it'll rally the base. And then the base won't care. We'll just have Kash Patel and Pam Bondi come and lie. And then I also want to remind you all, the theater they did. Remember they brought in Cernovich and all those other people, the binders. We have the binders. And then Pam Bondi said, I have the files on my desk. And then remember in the summer, Dan Bongino would look like a deer in headlights. I haven't seen my wife. And Kash Patel's like, there's nothing to see here, guys. Because they probably realized our king and daddy and his friends and the cabinet members are all up in the Epstein files. The shamelessness part.
Yeah. Oh, well, Waj, when you joined probably late. I broke a little of this news when with Ellie and Kate, we were talking about the same thing. So let me tell you what really happened. So Donald Trump, when in his first administration, when Bill Barr arrested Epstein and they had all the Trump didn't have control of the DOJ. Trump didn't have control of the FBI. Christopher Wray did not share information with Donald Trump. Bill Barr did not share information with Donald Trump. Yes, Bill Barr was an advocate of the president, the office of the president, and was protect Trump because Trump happened to be the president, but he did not like Donald Trump. So Donald Trump never knew what was in the Epstein files. Donald Trump is such a narcissistic fool, couldn't even imagine what that Epstein was working and all of this stuff and these emails and the files. Think about all these years. How many years back? This was 40 years ago. Don't remember. These are narcissists. When he got into office, and these idiots started going out, we got the Epstein files. They started promoting it without actually looking into it. When they actually looked into it and saw that the Epstein files should actually be called the Trump files.
Trump Epstein files, correct.
Trump Epstein files, that is when July 6th, when all hell broke loose. That is when they came out and said, we're closing this down. There's nothing to look here. Everything is done. And that's what, because this was the first time, because Trump took control of the FBI. When Kash Patel brought him in and showed him all that they had, Trump had control of the DOJ. Pat Bondi showed them all. And just like Ellie said, if you type in Trump's name in the DOJ Epstein file, it comes up over 5,000 times, folks. Think about that.
And also, I mean, I want to ask you this question because you know the Trump world, you know these players, you know Donald Trump. The level of arrogance, the level of shamelessness, the level of delusion, because I've been following this for a while. For someone in this comment section said, wow, we had no idea how big QAnon was. So if I may, just for the DeLorean, because I know there's a lot. QAnon, folks, was so fringe that it started from the dregs of the internet, all right? I'm talking about like 4chan batshit crazy stuff. However, just to show you the ideological infrastructure of MAGA, and if I'm wrong here, Lev was in it. He was part of the cut, so he will affirm what I'm saying and add more details. MAGA, specifically in the past 10 years, and specifically Donald Trump, realized, oh, we can attract our base and launder and Trojan horse much of the talking points attacking the FBI, law enforcement, anyone who makes Donald Trump look bad because of the Russia stuff. And we could say deep state, deep state, deep state, hoax, 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 don't believe anything. Oh, QAnon is gaining traction. Let's now mainstream this extremely dangerous fringe nut conspiracy that says that everyone who's part of the left is a part of an international sex trafficking cabal that worships the devil and not only sex traffics and rapes kids, but also kills them. All right. In the 2020 election, running up to the 2020 election, the FBI had warned, Yahoo actually got this letter, that FBI had warned running up to the election that QAnon, that was now embraced by Donald Trump and Republicans, are like, all right, we got the deep state, replacement theory, let's bring on QAnon. Yes, let's use that to rile up our base against all of our enemies, FBI, deep state, law enforcement, Jews, right, Soros, people of color. Yeah, it's like a huge like Voltron coming together. Yep. And what the Yahoo said was, I remember this because I kept writing about it. I said, folks, QAnon, which is now embraced by the former president of the United States, the FBI is saying that it has the potential of radicalizing individuals and groups to commit violence. That's what the FBI warned internally. All right. What happened? January 6th insurrection. Ashley Babbitt, who they've made into a martyr. Oh, you know, the lady who didn't pay attention or listen to the police and was deranged, completely unhinged, conspiracy theorist, mentally unwell, came there with violence, said the storm is coming, right? Hardcore QAnon supporter, by the way. Her pathway towards radicalization was, if you will, steroid injected by QAnon. And then she was shot because she was trying to break in illegally, violently to the Capitol, right? So they made her into a martyr. She was radicalized by QAnon, right? Vance Bolter, the man who killed Melissa Hortman, her husband, and her dog, dressed up like a police officer, much like these ICE police officers, just saying, and just showed up at her door, had a hit list of 70 people. He, in part, was radicalized by QAnon, all right? So they went all in with this QAnon conspiracy theory because they're like, aha, we can ride this and attack our critics. And Donald Trump ran with it as well. Dan Bongino ran with it as well. Kash Patel on the podcast ran with it as well. And they said the only person, and this is why it's all connected, the only person who can clean the deep state, the only person who's not corrupted, the only person who's not tainted is Donald Trump. And if you elect Donald Trump, we will do something that the Obama administration, the Biden administration never did. We will release the Epstein files, right? So this is why when people are asking, like, why the hell is this a fracture in the right wing? Like, nothing else has stuck, but this seems to be the fracture, is because there's only so much people can take when you lie to their faces. Case in point, Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy. The lies are so egregious that you've seen a small fissure, actually a growing fissure where people are like, you're lying to my face. I'm a white guy who's voted Republican my entire life. I'm in Minnesota. They're killing white people. What the F are you talking about? You've seen these videos, right? So that's why Epstein, Candace Owens and others, Marjorie Taylor Greene, also opportunists, Thomas Massie. And now you're seeing, as of today, if you look at right-wing media, some people are fracturing because they literally were promised that their king and daddy, Donald Trump, would prove the existence of the deep state by releasing the Epstein files. And not only did they not release the Epstein files, this mother effer is all up in it. I hope that was useful. I hope I didn't bore people with that. That's why it's so important.
Not only you came in late, Wash, but first of all, for all of you, over 3,000 people that are joining us, we are going to put this out. If you're joining late, there's so much important information that we had from Ellie and Kate Justice and Wash that we're going to put this out. So if you missed it, make sure we'll be putting it out when we're done, but make sure that you pass it on. But let me tell you some breaking information that Kate and Ellie told us right before you came in. Kate Justice. Kate Justice is another. We'll have to introduce. She's part of Ellie and Zev introduced me to Kate. She's another independent journalist that's been working on the Epstein files, and I met her a couple of times through Ellie and Zev, and so far her work has been incredible. She's also been attacked by some of these powerful men, sending her cease and desist letters, and now that she's been accusing, and now she's found them in the Epstein files. So incredible stuff that, of course, like the usual pattern. But what I want to connect some of the dots to what you just said, what they found in the Epstein, in this dump in the Epstein files, is a connection to Epstein and the originator, I don't know the names of the people, but the originators of QAnon, the three young guys, and it looks like Epstein and Bannon were in charge of putting QAnon together, like the formation of QAnon. Because of it's all. I mean, this is crazy, but this is like both of them said that they were up till 4 a.m, and the stuff that they saw having to do with Epstein, QAnon, Bannon, and all of this, that there's a lot more to it. So you connected the dots perfectly, perfect time.
No, I missed that, and that look, people who say it's all conspiracy theory. All right, folks, I give you Epstein. Look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. For those who have always seen, I always like facts. But FBI has known about him since 1996. Why did he get a sweetheart deal? Why was he allowed to rape girls 6 out of 7 days a week? Why was he only given 13 months? Why did everyone cover this up? How come Donald Trump hasn't released it? How come they're redacting? How come Ghislaine Maxwell is a minimum security? You know what I'm saying, folks? Like, so even a guy like me who's like, I'm not interested in conspiracy theories, Lev, when it comes to Epstein, billionaires, these powerful men, foreign countries, Mossad, Russia, Mossad, look at the Mossad connections. So there's people working on the Mossad angles, there's people working on the Russia angles, there's people working on the money angles, there's people working on the Trump admin angles. I mean, this guy, Lutnick, is the one who said that Epstein is one of the great blackmailers. He probably knows. Maybe Lutnick, if I may. Look at this. The cellmate guy. All right, the cellmate guy, right? This is the cellmate for those who are joining us, like 3,200 people. The Epstein files are extremely damning.
And Wash, just to give everybody a little understanding, because when Wash says cellmate, I was somebody that was in prison, so I could tell you, there's no way this guy was able to have the information that he's giving to the FBI unless Epstein talked. He might have, fine-tuned it. He might have exaggerated a little bit, but don't look at what he's saying and look at the names and the information. How does a cellmate get this type of? Go ahead now, Wash. I just want to let you know.
Yeah, I mean, just some of the stuff that he wrote. So he talked about Trump, Weinstein, Andrew, Glenn Dubin, the billionaire. All these names, by the way, Glenn Dubin is one of the billionaires that Ellie and others have said that when Virginia Giuffre mentioned the billionaires who were involved, she didn't mention the name. They think most likely it's Dubin. Who else did Virginia Giuffre name? Prince Andrew, who got stripped of his title right before Virginia Giuffre's memoir got published. Prince Andrew. Do you see that disgusting photo of Prince Andrew on his fours over that girl that got released, folks? He said, when it comes to Prince Andrew, let me tell you about Prince Andrew. The woman, name redacted, stated that Ghislaine Maxwell told her to make Prince Andrew happy by doing, quote, exact same things to him that she did for Epstein because he's good friends with Maxwell. Steve Scully witnessed Andrew on Epstein's island grinding against a young girl. Blank stated Prince Andrew and Epstein flew on Epstein's plane and had orgies. Real quick on Prince Andrew.
Please.
He defamed, attacked, and did everything in his power to destroy Virginia Giuffre, who was the first person, brave person, who named him years ago. She was right. And she died via suicide, allegedly. And the week before her memoir came out recently, Prince Andrew was stripped of his titles. Just for those who think this is all conspiracy theory. A name, she mentioned also a prime minister of a foreign country. She didn't name him. Many people assume that could be Ehud Barak, who's all up in these files. She mentioned the same type of billionaires. Ellie and others have said, we don't know, but very confident it could be Glenn Dubin. Here's what the cellmate says about Dubin. Blank stated, Maxwell instructed her to give Dubin a massage and do what she did for Epstein. Leon Black, who we've talked about a lot, CEO of Apollo Management, billionaire, who for some strange reason gave hundreds of millions of dollars to Jeffrey Epstein for estate advice. Blank stated Epstein told her to give Black a massage while Black was naked. Blank stated another female gave Black a massage and he made her perform oral sex. Epstein made jokes about Black's penis side. Blank stated Black raped her numerous times and sex trafficked her, including at Epstein's. Black threatened to destroy her life and stated he had connections with the police. Black is still alive, folks. Hasn't explained why he's given hundreds of millions. And I want to mention three other people, if I may. The other person that we always mention, Leslie Wexner, the CEO of Victoria's Secret, the man who, for some strange reason, gave Jeffrey Epstein hundreds of millions of dollars and the $70 million penthouse in New York, which was the prime jewel of New York real estate. He gave it to Jeffrey Epstein as a gift, as one does, where Jeffrey Epstein raped people. This is what the cellmate said. And we've always asked, Wexner is alive. And if I can connect another dot to what came out 5 weeks ago, in 2019, when they arrested Epstein, the FBI had 10 potential co-conspirators. 3 of those were named. One of them, Ghislaine Maxwell. The other, Jean-Luc Brunel, who, by the way, also mentioned here, who died via suicide in jail. And the third person whose name was unredacted, Les Wexner. Les Wexner. So we always asked, it's a good question to ask, why would Leslie Wexner give hundreds of millions of dollars to this guy? I love my friends. I'm not going to give him a $70 million townhouse as a gift, according to the cellmate. And after that, I'll just do Lutnick and I'll stop. This Les Wexner, according to the cellmate, that's what we got, all right? Steve Scully stated Wexner was number 1 on Epstein's speed dial. Blank, the victim, stated Epstein earned his money from having sex with Wexner. Your take on that?
And it's not the first time I heard that, by the way. I've heard that from a lot of different sources that Epstein and Wexner had, there was a relationship where he was being blackmailed, and blackmail was part of why, to answer your questions, why he received hundreds of millions in the townhouse and all of that. And the crazy part about Les Wexner is here. Let's subpoena these people. That's why, folks, we have that petition out there, which we're going to put a lot more names on it than just Bannon and Cohen and Wolf, because after this dump, Lutnick, Wexner.
We'll talk about Lutnick in a second.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Oh, here's the Lutnick one. And then I want to ask you a question, if you don't mind. Here's Lutnick, for those who don't know, is a billionaire. Lutnick is Donald Trump's Secretary of Commerce. Lutnick is so obnoxious that he's come out and openly bragged about AI taking people's jobs. He's the obnoxious billionaire who's come out and said, if my mother missed a Social Security check for a week, it'd be fine, or a month. That's Lutnick, just a piece of crap. Well, that Lutnick, I mean, according to what we know and the data, that Lutnick is also in these files. But before I get into the files and what we know via his emails, according to the cellmate, and again, we're just saying it's according to the cellmate, the document that was released, Howard Lutnick, Simon Andreas reported that Lutnick made his money through Ponzi schemes and money laundering. Lutnick and Epstein were neighbors, and Epstein sold Lutnick a home for $10, which Lutnick then turned around and sold for millions. And when it comes to Lutnick, Lutnick has said he planned a visit in 2012 after Lutnick has said that he severed ties with Epstein. So he said, I severed ties with him. But in December 2012, the records show Lutnick sent an email to Epstein saying they had a group of people, including his wife and children and another family, who were visiting the Caribbean. He asked where Epstein was located and whether they could visit for a meal. So it seems like being associated with Epstein was a prerequisite for being part of the Trump campaign.
I mean, it's just sick. It's sick to understand. And again, folks, just think about all of these things we're saying, and this is already that we're getting. This is already that we're seeing. This is forget. So that's why when people are out there still, screaming, we need more before we could do anything. That's why me, Waj, Ellie, Zev saying, subpoena these people now. These are people right now that just think about. These are the people that we are looking that could give us all the information. Well, what else do we need? More? We need to see more emails of Elon Musk. Do we need to see more accusations of Donald Trump? Do we need to see more accusations of Howard Lutnick? Come on, they're all in there. Let's start subpoenaing. Let's start getting accountability, and that's why with all of these distractions, even though we talk about these are serious distractions, what's happening in Minnesota is not just a distraction, folks. It's an abomination of our constitutional rights. It's attack on our country. It's attack on American democracy. It's basically the president waging war on the state of Minneapolis. So that's what's happening. But at the same time, it's also a distraction from these Epstein files. Same thing, what's going on in Georgia. You're just not hearing about it. Yes, it was breaking news. And yes, this is serious stuff. This should be breaking news. We should be talking about this. If it wasn't for the Epstein files, folks, the only thing I would be talking about right now is what happened in Georgia and the fact that right now Tulsi Gabbard has been for months, folks. For months, what my sources are reporting, for months has been working behind the scenes quietly. That's why we don't hear Tulsi Gabbard's name when we hear Russia. Our DNI is not involved in Russia. Venezuela is not involved. But she is involved where? In putting together a case that has to do with election fraud of 2020. And it's not just about going back to 2020 about rewriting history, folks. It's about what they're planning on using that and to do away with our elections going forward. And that is why me, Waj, Ellie, and everybody out here are screaming our heads off and saying the Epstein files, because you know what, folks? That's the only thing that unites this country, that unites the Republicans and the Democrats, that is tearing mega apart. That's why we're saying we know there's a lot of bad things, but the only way we could save our country is if we could do something that could actually work. And right now, we have a bipartisan. We have people in the Republican that are ready to go. Let's start going after subpoenas. Let's impeachment, something. Watch. We need leadership.
Anything. No, anything. Like just press conferences. Put it in the news.
Press conferences, yes. Every day, have a press conference.
You can't escape it. They can't. Look, folks, the reason why I'm saying he can't, he's on the back foot on Epstein. He can't. It's done. It's done. What are you going to do? You lie more? He's negative double digits across the board. He has his lowest approval rating. Negative double digits on the economy. He's negative double digits on immigration. And the two things that unite America, now there's another one, is about 75 to 80% of Americans, some of the poll numbers shift, but is a majority of Americans want the release of the Epstein files. A majority of Americans don't trust Trump when it comes to the Epstein files. About 80+% of Americans do not want the military invasion of Greenland. So the two things that unite Americans right now, don't militarily invade Greenland, blow up NATO. We're not for it, and release the Epstein files. When it comes to the Epstein files, Donald Trump is a negative 35 to 40 on that, right? He can't escape it. And now we know Lutnick's involved. Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce. Ken Marsh, the next pick for Federal Reserve. Elon Musk, the richest man on earth who gave $300 million and stole our secrets with Doge. Another scandal because we found out at least one Doge member gave that information, our secret information, to Republicans to rig the upcoming elections. That was 2 weeks ago. Some big news. And furthermore, I'm asking, well, that's what we know about. Who else stole what and gave it to who? Right. And then you have what Lev just said, like what should be a top 5 story, is why the FSR DNI, Director of National Intelligence, with the FBI raiding Fulton County, taking those ballots. And then furthermore, last week, now it's been almost a week, Pam Bondi extorted Governor Walz in the email that he read, the letter. Oh, okay, we'll get rid of ICE from Minnesota. Give us your state's voter rolls. Excuse me? What does that have to do with immigration enforcement? What? And they're so naked about it. So it's like what I've been saying, what we've been saying, insurrection at since the summer. Folks, it's like Connect 4. They're trying different strategies to Connect 4. All right. Ragstack fire. That's not working. Immigrants, ICE, shit, that's backfiring. Okay. Insurrection Act, that might be too far. Aha. Let's go for disrupting the elections. Let's just rig it out in the open. They're trying from any angle for permanent power because now they know. And they're openly saying it. Donald Trump said it to his funders. We talked about how Reuters reported that the Trump administration is threatening to sanction the International Criminal Court unless they promise not to prosecute Trump administration members in the future. Totally normal, Lev. They know Ted Cruz, the audio that got leaked last week, and this was before the murder of Alex Preddy, where he said the trade war is so disastrous. He cussed out Trump. He cussed out J.D. Vance. He goes, "You guys are going to make us lose the House, and if we lose the House, it'll be impeachment, impeach it nonstop." They realize they effed up. They realize they've crimed. They realize they've violated the laws, and they realize they're most likely going to go to jail or be investigated. So if I was them, Lev, and I had a cult, and I had the DOJ and the FBI, why would I ever leave power voluntarily, Lev? I'd stay there as long as I can because I don't want to go to jail.
Correct. Thank you so much. I mean, that's that's as clear as you could put it, folks. I mean, you can't forget about, or even if you don't understand anything. The bottom line is Donald Trump and his administration, like Kristi Noem and like Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, do not want to go to prison, and they understand that the second they lose control of the House, the Senate, the presidency, they will be prosecuted. So that is why they're doing everything in their power, and that is the whole key. All of these things, even the things that the Epstein drops, the way they're doing, the number one thing they're distracting from everything is what they're doing is they're trying to cancel elections. They're trying to do away with elections because they can't win the elections. They know they can't win fair and square, just like Waj says. They know the numbers. They're not stupid. They see it. They see people in the streets. They see the protests. They see that they, didn't get their black or brown, criminals that were with guns killed. It happened to be a white mother or a white nurse. They understand, and that's why they're going. That's why just think about what happened yesterday. These are like if we were living in a normal world, and all of a sudden there would be breaking news that a journalist got arrested by the Department of Justice, by the FBI, because he was, you could agree, disagree, but he was a journalist.
A MAGA journalist. Let's just say a MAGA journalist.
A First Amendment right. Being arrested, this would be crazy. We would be all First Amendment rights. This would be the same thing. If all of a sudden we would have seen the FBI raid, all of a sudden take states, all of their voter rights. I mean, just think about it. They now have it in possession. What's going on? What's being put in? What's being taken out? What's being scrubbed? And for what? To be able to give you, a scenario of why they are going to so they could come out and say, you know what? We found there was such fraud. We're going to change these rules. So this election, there's not going to be any fraud. This is what they're trying to do, folks. Waj, I want to thank you for coming. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, I want to ask you this one question.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Last question before we leave. I've lost people and I will continue to lose people. It's fine. It's life. I was given advice by a mentor of mine, a writer of mine, that was talking about my life, how it's interesting how people who have always supported me then become vicious, and then people who are vicious then become supporters. And he said, I won't name him, but he said, people will jump on and people will jump off. Your job is to keep moving forward, right?
That's right.
And so that's been my life, because certain times I'll say things and like one group says, "How dare you criticize? How did you expose our dirty laundry?" And then the same people loved me, hate me. It's been my career. But I want to ask you this, and the reason why I'm saying this is I've gotten some heat from some blue on people who are very upset at me for criticizing the Democratic establishment and Schumer for not going on offense enough, and for kind of predicting that they'll be weak, and for saying that they could have done more and should have done more, and also saying that Merrick Garland was a terrible choice and probably one of Joe Biden's top 3 sins during his administration, Gaza being the other one. And there's a reason why we're in this situation with Donald Trump is because the weakness, the fecklessness, the lack of accountability, the lack of offense. When you say that, oh, they get so angry at me. I lost like 1,000 people in the last couple of days. But I've said I don't bend the knee to any political party. I'll call it out. Clearly, folks, I'm against Trump and the Republicans. Clearly. Okay. I did everything in my power to try to get Kamala elected, to get Hillary Clinton elected, even though they weren't my political candidates, but lesser of two evils. But in this particular situation, folks, I'm saying that we have 2 weeks before Schumer renegotiates. 2 weeks is we'll forget everything in 2 weeks, which is what Republicans are hoping for. We have to pressure these Democrats to do more, and they can do more. The reason why I want to ask you this is what I've always given Republicans and MAGA credit for, which is a strange thing, and you were part of it. They're ruthless. When they get power, they don't give an F. So if I'm wrong here, Lev, you tell me.
No, I want to say to you, Waj, keep doing what you're doing. And those 1,000 people that you lost, those are people that are not either they're part of a cult. Because listen, Democrats have cults. Michael Cohen has a cult. There's cults are just like Donald Trump. People that don't want to hear the truth. People that don't want, because the truth sometimes very hard, like you said. Sometimes and Ellie said, which was very well said before you came on. She said, if my friend was in the Epstein files, that person would not be my friend right now. I mean, there's a place where you draw the line. It's just like what you're saying, because you're fighting for truth. And yes, you might be, not everybody agrees, and not everybody's going to agree with what you're saying. But I want to compliment you and say, keep speaking truth to power. The Democrats do not have strength. I say the same thing. If we had leaders in the Democratic Party, we would not be here today, because with everything that Donald Trump and MAGA and everything's happening, if somebody would have taken charge, just think about what happened in Minnesota. Me and you spoke about. The fact that we did not have press conferences every day by Schumer, Jeffries, and everybody standing behind Waltz and Frey and talking about, get ICE out of here and stuff like that. Until this day, you still see no press conferences. You still see no real attack. The Epstein files, they'll say it and they'll disappear. So Waj, I'm going to tell you, keep speaking truth to power, and those 1,000 people, you'll gain another 10,000, because there's more people that want you the truth, that want to save our democracy. And those unfortunate people, and that's why I talk about Michael Cohen. These people need to be educated. These people, because you have people that are so brainwashed, even by the Schumers of the world, because they've preached for so long. They're so that people think that because he's there, he's in power, that he has to be right. We need change, folks. We need fresh blood. We need fighters in there. We need people that are coming in there that are going to care about each and every one of you, not deals that have been made over 50 years or 30 years. And alliances that are, been formulated, that if you vote blue or red, go all the way down. No, it's not like you vote for what you believe in. You could vote here, you could vote there. You have to believe what's good for our country. So I support you, Waj, and I'm saying keep speaking truth to power.
No, I appreciate it. I'm just saying, folks, that's the bottom line. I criticize the Democrats to make them better, because that's the only vehicle we have right now to fight fascism. Absolutely. And if you believe, and I'm not alone. Majority of people have no faith in the Democratic Party. They're not winning because people love them. They're winning because people hate fascism, and they're getting really sloppy, and they think, they can waltz their way in, and they've already spiked the ball before the election's always done. And you see Gavin Newsom not willing to embrace literally any of the positions that are popular with the base. And so I think we have 2 weeks. They have to respond to the people. They have to listen to the people. We have to shake them. And if you disagree with me, look at the Epstein files. It's not just Republicans in there. All these people do business with both sides. J.P. Morgan funded Epstein after he was convicted. And so
Obama's chief of staff, I think Obama's chief of staff.
Yeah, that lady, the White House counsel, the woman.
White House counsel, Obama's White House counsel, exactly, right there.
So our take is you will lose people without accountability and without fight. And it is one of the enduring sins of Joe Biden's presidency. I give him credit where credit's due. Merrick Garland. Not a single Republican was perp walked.
100%.
There are senators and House members who were openly there at the January 6th insurrection. Ginny Thomas texted him. Like, why did you... Literally, we have a phone call, speaking about Fulton County, literally we have a phone call where Donald Trump says, find me the exact votes. Brad Raffensperger, the Republican Secretary of State, leaked the audio. You have him stealing confidential documents, and then Merrick Garland slow-walked everything to the point where, without accountability, Lev, Donald Trump is reelected. So this is why, folks, I'm speaking about the long term. If you don't do anything, and even if we have free and fair elections, you're going to get the same Democrats who are going to do business as usual. And then in 2032, we're going to have our first America First Nazi president. I hope I'm wrong. I hope all my critics are right for the sake of America.
And me and Waj always say we hope we're wrong because, unfortunately, sometimes the information we're passing along or is not pleasant, but the truth is the truth. And as long as you're informed, we could act. And acting is most important. Waj, before you go, please, can I promote you a little bit? Because you do such a bad job of it. Let me please talk about Waj. This is a person that is out there, a real independent journalist that doesn't care about one side or the other, talks truth to power, really talks about what he believes. And the number one thing that we all have in common is we don't want authoritarianism. We don't want, Donald Trump in office. We want to be able to have a fair and square elections. We want to be able to debate. We want to be able to argue and then go have coffee and lunch afterwards, because it's not a matter. Politics are not life or death. We want to get back to normality, get to a great country where we are. So, Waj, just want to let you know he has a special that's ending very soon. That's today. I think today's the last day. So if you haven't, make sure. $3.75, folks. You can't get coffee today. You can't get a bagel. You can't, a soft drink costs $3 and something. So for $3.75, you have somebody there that you're going to get information around the clock, literally almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He's relentless. He brings it to you, and his sources are great. His information are great. So I would definitely hit that button right there. Follow him. And if you can't become a paid subscriber, folks, we all say it. Become a free subscriber, because none of us have paywalls. It's all about making sure that you're informed. Information is key. Knowledge is key. And that's what we're here to do. So please, folks, go hit that, subscribe to Waj. And if you can become a paid subscriber, he has like 900 kids right now. He's going to have to go feed
800. You have 800. Ellie has 900. Lev has 1,000. That's always so. When it comes to the ranking of children, it's Lev, Ellie, and then me. But no, I appreciate that. Was very kind of you. Thank you all for joining us. There's nearly 4,000 people. Just subscribe. Ellie, like me, it's no paywalls. She has a special. It's $3.75. Lev, also no paywalls. I don't have any paywalls. I believe you said the other individual, Katie Justice.
Yes, Kate Justice. I think Kate also.
Yeah, Kate also is on here. She doesn't have a paywall. So the least you could do is subscribe. It helps not just the algorithms, but also you get this information out. And the reason why there's no paywalls, I can only speak for myself, is I refuse to limit people from information that can help save our democracy. The way fascists win is they rewrite history. Those who control the present control the past. Those who control the past control the future. And as George Orwell wrote in 1984, the final, most essential command of the party was don't believe the evidence of your eyes and ears. Times are tough. Those who can give $3.75, it goes a long way. Those who can't, just subscribe for free. And hopefully you are informed and you can help us, as we have to come together. And the last thing I'll say is, look, they're coming after, if they can come after Don Lemon, that was a warning shot. Yep. They'll come after all of us. If they can kill Renee Nicole Good, a white woman, and Alex Preddy, a white man, and then say they're domestic terrorists, they can kill you. Fascists come for everyone, folks. So everyone has a role to play. Subscribe to Lev. Thank you all. Lev, relax over the weekend. And if you don't, well, just relax over the weekend.
Yeah,
and everyone else,
we'll be probably calling each other.
Yeah, we'll probably. All right. Everyone else, take care. Thank you.
Thank you. So that is Wajahat Ali, folks. Incredible. We had Ellie, we had Dean, we had Kate Justice. Waj has joined us, and we have over 4,000 people. And I have a very special surprise for you guys, because the one thing I want to end it off, because we've spoken a lot of things. And first of all, about Michael Cohen, before we go, because I know I see a lot of comments about Michael Cohen and about Brian decorum. As you could see, folks, we've put the message out to have Brian come join us. Hopefully he'll accept the message and come here sometime today or this week, and we could discuss, because we're not looking for division. I want people to go on Michael Cohen's show, but I want people to go on Michael Cohen's show and ask him the hard questions. I don't want them to go on there and allow him to continue to whitewash, lie, and to be able to, grift like, he's learned from the best. If you take a look, him and Donald Trump are very similar alike, and their grifting is very similar alike. And it's unfortunate. So just think about it. The reason he blocked me is because I go on his lives and I sit there. I don't scream. I don't curse. I don't call him names. All I say, I message in his live is, Michael, bring me up. Right, Michael, bring me up so we could talk. I'm not looking to, and Michael has a standing invitation to come here anytime, come to join us, because I'm not here to scream, Michael, like you pretend. You keep saying this is Jerry Springer. You're not going to, we're not looking for Jerry Springer. We're not looking to argue. We're not looking to scream. What we're looking to do is to get to the bottom, get to the truth, get to the facts. Your name's in the Epstein files. You've been working with Donald Trump. You yourself have said no one better than anybody. Come on here. Let's have a normal conversation. Let's get to the bottom. The subscriber, the people, the American people, but more than anything, the survivors. They deserve the truth and they deserve answers, Michael. So please come on. As far as for Brian, I see somebody said Brian is good people. I'm not saying he's not, folks, and I want to make it clear. I'm not starting a war with Brian. I have invited him to come here. I have told him he's welcome to join us. I've told Wajahat Ali he's going to give him a call because at the end of the day, Michael Cohen is, he's a good con artist, and he cons people and uses them just like he's using, unfortunately, Don Lemon's name and others to be able to do what he's doing. So, folks, I just want to make it very clear. We here are not hiding from anybody. Our platform, I do not block anybody. And also for all of the Michael Cohen supporters, which I don't understand how you could support somebody that does not want to talk about the Epstein files, but anybody that wants to come up and and that's not a bot, and that's not just going to come up here and try to cause screaming and yelling. But if you really want to come up and talk about Michael Cohen and why you think we should lay off, or why you think Michael Cohen proved himself, or why you support Michael Cohen, I would really love to understand, because the one thing I can't understand, unless you are a part of his cult right now, how you could possibly not want and not expect him to give you answers about what's going on and what's taking place. So that's an open invitation to all of the Michael Cohen supporters, all of the people that are going on his shows, Michael Cohen himself. Michael Wolff blocked me. Michael Wolff also welcome. Steve Bannon, all of these people, Howard Lutnick, and I have a surprise for all of them, because we're just getting started, folks. Trust me when I tell you. But enough with the negativity, because I want to end off our show today. I want to end off our Saturday. I want to start your Saturday, because this is the beginning to your weekend. I have a special surprise for you. But before we get to that, I want to tell you a little bit update about Ukraine. Alexander was with us earlier. He was watching. He was laying, it was cold and getting some rest, because this week there's another few families that we're going to be delivering generators. We're going to be delivering also aid. We're going to be delivering medicine, food, and so I just want to let you know that your donations have done so much. It's incredible. We have some announcements coming up also. One of the reasons why I had to get off the phone earlier, folks, is because I got a call from Mikola, the CEO of Save Ukraine. That's the organization that basically saves the kids that have been kidnapped and stolen by the Russians. And so I just wanted to make sure, I had to grab that call. He's in Washington, D.C. We're planning on figuring out how we could become a much bigger, not influence, but much bigger way that we could help the people of Ukraine, the kids and everything. So continue donating, continue helping, continue subscribing, because we're dope. But with all of that said, so I want to say something special. So you guys know my son, Aaron Parnas. And he's amazing. And he's right now, unfortunately, just like Ellie and just like Kate and others, he is dug deep into the Epstein files, and the poor guy can't even pick up his head, to see what's going on because they're so busy with this dump. You guys have met my sister Ludmila. She's on here, Center of Positive Energy, and she is somebody that is not only uh, my everything, my dear to my heart, but she's also somebody that I think is extremely important for every one of you, and that's why I asked her to join this platform and come here and become part of this community. But you haven't met one of my other sons, Daniel. Daniel Parnas, my other son, he. Oh, there he is. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Ludmila. So I want to welcome the duo. This is my incredible sister, Ludmila, that you guys already know. And this is my incredible son, Daniel. And they together have this platform called Center of Positive Energy. And couldn't have been more proud of my son for being a part of this with my sister, joining, because I think what they're going to bring to this platform is something amazing. Not only positive energy for everybody, but with the connection between now, because a lot of young people do not realize that they're going through a lot of hard times with what's going on. We forget about the kids. We forget about what, the 16-year-olds, the 20-year-olds, the 21s, between everything that's happening. And I'm really proud that my son Daniel decided to join Ludmila and to share his own things that he's gone through his life, because just like Aaron has gone through a lot, Daniel has gone through a lot with my arrest. He was, when I got arrested, Daniel was 16. Daniel was in the house when the police raided and with their guns up, and as a 16-year-old child, had to put his hands on the floor because he had his brothers and sisters in the house with his mom. So he's gone through a lot, and he has turned that around, and I'm proud to say, with the help of my sister Ludmila, into using the power of positive energy to really get through a lot of hard times in our life. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys, because I know you have some stuff to share.
I just want to say, you got such an amazing community over here. So much love, so much happiness. And, it's very insane because we live in a world where we have one thing right now that can unite everybody. And you talk about it all day long. It's the Epstein files. And still, there's so much hate. There's so much, everybody's arguing with each other. Everybody's saying that people are out to get each other. But this is a fact. It's right and wrong. It's human nature. We're talking about pedophiles. We're talking about bad people. And it's crazy how these people like Michael Cohen, they're just lying, you know what I mean? Lying about this stuff. It's insane. It's insane.
It's insane. And that's why, go ahead, Lily.
And that's why exactly, I understand in life, you gotta be in it to understand it. And because today, your life, your children's life is like an open book, and people know what your family went through. For us to have this platform, this opportunity to be able to share with the world that it is a light, the end of the tunnel, with the right attitude, with the right understanding, with the positive thoughts, with the positive attitude, you can completely change your life and see life as it is and deal with this as it is. And that's why I am so excited to have Daniel with me, somebody who young, who is been through a lot of things in his life, but came out of it. And we are so proud, for him to be able to understand and to be able to share it with everybody. And
with technology nowadays, people, especially the younger generation, everybody's so focused on the outside world, focused on everything that's going on around them. They forget to love the person inside, to love themselves. And it's something we have to remind everybody. We have to remind ourselves day in and day out that without loving ourselves, we can't even love the people around us. So number one importance, you have to love yourself. And if we all love ourselves, then automatically the world becomes a better place. You know what I mean? And that's what me and my aunt are going to do. We're going to spread that amazing energy to all of you guys. And we hope you guys join this community that we're building, because we have a lot of special things in store for you guys. One announcement me and Ludo want to make: the Center of Positive Energy is officially going to become a podcast within the next couple of weeks. We are launching our podcast.
That's so awesome. That's awesome.
That's a very, very exciting thing on YouTube. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Substack. And hopefully that brings a lot of people together. We're very excited for that. So yeah,
I am so excited because you know what, I'll tell you honestly, what we're sharing, what our family's sharing, is you're sharing real life. You know, what do you call it? I mean, trials and tribulations. Because we as a family have gone through a lot, and we are each in our own way. Aaron, from going out there and finding a way to be able to bring news, independent journalism to everybody out there. Me fighting to be able to do my wrongs and try to get these evil people out of office and to unite our democracy. And then to having, you know, my son and my sister using, you know, what they truly believe in. You know, I tell you, I mean, between her and him, I get so much positive energy that sometimes I have to hang up on them because I said enough. But you know what? But it works.
We don't allow negativity.
They don't allow they don't allow negativity. So sometimes
you don't believe in negative.
That's right. And I think, Daniel, what you're doing, and I want to really say, you know, I think it's really big because a lot of young people don't realize, you know, I mean, you speak about that all the time. They don't realize even what they're going through, you know, and they are, you know, the communication between their parents, the outside world, just like you said, with technology. And I think, you know, you sharing some of what you went through, you know, your own situations and problems, and how you were able to get out of that and use the positive energy to be able to, like I see you here, and I'm so proud with your smile on your face, you know, after everything. I think that's extremely important because I think you guys are going to be able to help so many people. And I just want to say to everybody out there, right now, we have a little over 4,000 people out there. This is not political. This is not, this is something that is good for everybody. A little sunshine in your heart, a little positive energy, to get that, you know, we get all these emails. I'm sure you guys get bombarded with emails. Breaking news that, breaking news this one's taking over our country. This one is blowing up this.
And it just keeps you trapped in a headspace of just anger and grief. And it's just
and that's why you start your day and you finish your day with those beautiful words. Today, we're gonna have the best day. Today, we are in control of our mind. Today, we are so grateful. Life is beautiful and we are blessed.
Oh, I love you. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Everybody right now, make sure hit that button, go give them a follow. Subscriptions are for free and they have a lot of things lined up. Make sure you get, again, I think what was your subscriptions? What, like $5 and $25?
$5.25.
Well, just for those that you don't know, that's my sister's birthday, and that's a special number for her. So for those of you, it's like I said, Ellie, if you want a little joy in your heart, definitely support the platform. But if you can't, also, we all understand that, become a subscriber. That's the most important thing, because trust me, you want to get that positive little sign in the morning at the end, because remember, we all pray it forward. And if you put a smile on your face, you'll put it there. Guys, I love you so much.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful
God bless
day.
you all. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Folks, what can I say? I am a truly blessed man. I have an incredible family. I have incredible kids. My sister, my wife. You're meeting some of my older kids that you guys know, and some of my younger ones. And as you can see, we're what you see is what you get, and that's one thing with us. It's the truth is the truth, and we had an incredible day today. It's Saturday. I hope I was able to catch you up on the last stuff. This Epstein files dump is extraordinary. Ellie and Kay Justice and Ellie Leonard, make sure you subscribe to them. They gave us some incredible new breaking news that we're going to be writing about, talking about later on in the week, about the connection that Epstein might be having to QAnon, Steve Bannon, and others. Also, Wajahat Ali joined us with giving us all the connecting the dots and breaking news of what's happening, especially behind the scenes with independent journalism. We had Dean Blundell earlier with the fellas from Save America, straight from Greenland, and that was all today. And if any of you joined late and didn't catch it, I will be putting it out later on in about 30, 40 minutes. So make sure. The number one thing I want to ask each and every one of you today, the first thing I want to ask each and every one of you is hug your kids, hug your loved ones. Call somebody that you haven't spoken to in a while and say, how are you doing? Communication, folks. Love communication. Positive energy is extremely important because to keep the right frame of mind is the most important thing, because mental health is very important to all of us, folks. And the other thing I'm going to say to you is channel your energy, channel your hate, channel your frustration, channel your anger, but channel it in properly into what we're doing by signing the petition, by going out there and protesting peacefully, by going out there becoming a subscriber, a paid subscriber, by going out there spreading the message, by doing it. Channel your anger and your frustration and your fears into using it and acting. And I say this all the time, yes, we survive off paid subscribers because paid subscribers not only help us do what we do because, excuse me, I don't have at least, and a lot of the people on here don't have corporate sponsors. So paid subscribers help us get through to be able to continue to, but it also helps with the algorithms. So the more, you are being followed, the more your message gets out there and more. So that's why it's extremely important. And for all of you out there that that are contributing to the GoFundMe's and helping through the Venmos and all of that, God bless you, because it's all because of you. We're able to do all of these things without paywalls and allow because a lot of people can't become paid subscribers. A lot of people can't contribute or donate. And I want you, and I'm talking to you right now. I do not want you to for 1 second feel bad. I don't want you for 1 second to leave this community or think that this is a community only about people. This is a family, and we all help each other. So if you can't become a paid subscriber, become a free subscriber. If you can't contribute, spread the message. If you can't donate to the GoFundMe, take the GoFundMe and spread it to 10 people that might be able to do it. I see a lot of you asking about Dan Bongino. We're going to get into a lot of Dan Bongino and everything later on in the week. With this Epstein files coming up, I have to run today because we've gone a little longer than expected with the interruption with the technical interruptions. So I gotta go spend some time with my family and my kids, and that's what I want each and every one of you to do. Go spend some time with your loved ones, your family, your kids, your parents, your friends, or just somebody that you might have not spoken to a long time. Take the time out, turn the TV off. I've given you information of everything that's going on. If there's some breaking news, I'm sure you'll get notified from my son or from one of us here. But till then, turn this TV off. Get out there. Go get some fresh air. Go smell the flowers. Go do something. Just get away from this garbage to get fresh, because we need all the strength we need to be able to get through, because we have another week ahead of us, and it's not going to get easier. I could tell you that. But we are going to get through it, and we are going to be able to get our democracy back. So, folks, like I said, I wish you a wonderful day. God bless each and every one of you. God, and Slava Ukraini, Geroim Slava, and for all of you out there that are fighting for our democracy, don't worry, we're together. Stand strong, stand loud, be vigilant, and together we will save our democracy. Have a wonderful weekend. God bless each and every one of you.